Yes, hello, welcome on into Living Out Sports here for the one season challenge with Barcelona. If you missed the last episode, go and check it out. It was a good one to start the season. We had our first game of the season. It was meant to be a bit of a transfer special as well, but we'd only made a couple of signings by that point. There are a few signings to talk about in this episode, so go and see the people that we signed in the last one. It was a wee bit of a shorter episode, and then come back and see this one. If you are new around here, hit that subscribe button as well for more daily Football Manager content here with the one season challenge. And as you can see from the screen in front of you, we've had a fairly decent start. We're currently joint top of the table, 5 wins from 5, scoring 15, conceding 5. And if we look at the schedule, you can see after our 4-0 victory in our first game of the season, we followed that up with a 1-0 victory over Villarreal. Goals from Zlatan Ibrahimovic won us that one. We then beat Real Betis thanks to goals from Griezmann, Christian Pavon and Musa Wagu. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce it still, to be honest. We then had another 4-2 victory thanks to goals from Griezmann, a man who I might be talking about in just a second. Langley and Lionel Messi got one in the 94th minute of the game, and then Messi and Ibrahimovic scored goals in the 2-1 victory against Real Sociedad. Yes, you'll have noticed in that game against Levante, Aaron Ramsey scored a goal for us, and that's because we've signed him for £20 million. Initially, it's like £8 million, and then instalments after that. Pay £20 million. We obviously had him in our one season challenge at Juventus. I thought he's a very, very solid midfield player, and he can help us out with some depth in that position. The 29-year-old Welshman, welcome to Barcelona. I look forward to having you here. I think you're going to be a very, very solid squad signing for us. As I'd mentioned, obviously, we have made some signings, and also we've let some players go as well. The first one here was Coutinho, who we've sent out on loan back to Liverpool. They're paying £1 million a month or something like that, is it? £1 million in total? I'm not sure exactly. But he's out on loan at Liverpool. I noticed we weren't using him in the first few games and wasn't that impressed with him, so I thought, get him off the wage bill, and then we're able to bring in some other players. So that's what's happened. Coutinho is away on loan to Liverpool. And another player who realised I really wasn't using him was on a very big wage was Ousmane Dembele. He has been sold to Man United. You see, it's £25 million. He made a big loss on him. I mean, he's already worth a lot more than that, but we just weren't using him. He was out there on that right-hand side, and that was where Messi was playing. And I say, we just were not using him. I noticed in the first 3 or 4 games of the season. So away he goes. We brought in £25 million, and it meant we had more money in the bank to do some fairly impressive business in this window to finish it off. And we'll talk about the few ins. We've already talked about Ramsey, but there are other ins as well to talk about to go alongside Ibrahimovic and Pavon from the last episode. So let's get into that. The first one to talk about is probably a direct replacement, maybe, for Dembele, but not quite as good, a little bit cheaper, and someone who's probably more happy to sit on the bench than Dembele was. It's Julian Brandt. I'm sure you'll have heard of him. He's a player that most people will know of. He was at Wolfsburg, then Leverkusen, and then Dortmund the last couple of years. We've signed him for £29 million, it says. Again, most of that is in instalments. I think it's only something like £5 or £6 million up front. And he will act as one of the backup wingers for us. Probably playing maybe, in cup ties and maybe the league games in between Champions League ties, stuff like that. But he's got versatility. He can play across that midfield and behind the striker as well. An alright player. Maybe upon reflection, I wish I hadn't signed him for that amount of money as we got toward the end of the window. But an alright player. And these next 3 players all arrived on transfer deadline day. The first one was Odsonne Edouard. We signed him from Celtic for £21 million. The striker who did fairly well at Celtic in previous years. 15 goals, 21. He'd scored 6 and 8 before we signed him. You see, he's played 1 game for us. Didn't play that well so far. But a very nice striker there. Finishing of 17. Some good technical stats. Nice mentals. Physicals are all right as well. 6'2". He's a 4-star player at the moment. 22 years of age, surely can only develop. Will probably be our first choice striker. We'll play Griezmann on the left, Messi on the right, Edouard up front. You've got players like Ibrahimovic you can cover for him, and you've got Griezmann coming in the middle. We play Fati out on the left. There's a whole load of different options to do. But Odsonne Edouard is likely going to be the man who leads our line most of this season. I say, just the £21 million we paid for him from Celtic. you get a bit of a good deal when you're buying from Scotland, and you can see a 4-star player only costs 21 million. He's a solid player. Moving slightly further back, we've got Manuel Locatelli. Everyone will know him from, I would say, probably his breakout at the Euros in real life this summer. 3-star player, possibly 3.5. Acts as a box-to-box or a playmaker. He'll probably playing that deep-line playmaker role for us in midfield. I'm not sure if he'll start, but he'll still be part of the squad. We signed him for £39 million. Again, and most of that is in instalments. So that's a good way to kind of make good use of your transfer budget instead of spending all of it and the actual thing. Pay it in instalments later, and especially in the one-season challenge, you can get more people in that way, you see, because I don't care about the club finances further down the line. You can see he's very well-rounded, though. A couple of 9s in long throws and free kicks, but the rest are all in double figures. A very, very well-rounded player. £75,000 a week, so not too bad for the wages either. And that's another midfield option alongside Ramsey, who we brought in as well. So we're very, very strong in central midfield now. And last but by no means least, we have signed David Alaba. He's went to Real Madrid in real life for a free transfer, but we have signed him for £51 million in total. Most of that, again, in instalments. You can see a very, very well-rounded player. Another one, finishing is his worst stat at 10, which is not bad for a defender. You know, everything else is at least 11, 12s. Lots of greens there, especially in his technicals as well as, sorry, not his technicals, his physicals over there, and some mental stats as well. Just such a solid, well-rounded player. Mainly as a left back, but we're probably going to play him at centre back. We're going to play him as a cover and ball playing defender. Him and Piqué alongside each other, I think, could work quite well. Even though he's only 5'11", Piqué will go and win the headers, and Alaba will cover him behind, ready, to chase any fast strikers away. That's the thought anyway. But he can give us cover in left back position as well. Can also give us cover in midfield if we need him. See, lots of versatility there. And I'm pretty proud of that signing as well. He's only on £145,000, which compared to some of the players at the squad is not a lot. I know it sounds like a ridiculous amount of money, but it's not a lot compared to some of the players. But yeah, David Alaba is probably a player you're going to be seeing quite a lot of alongside Edward. They're probably the two signings we've made who are going to get most game time, to be honest. Say 4.5-star player. Not for playing at centre-back, but for playing at left-back, yeah. But a 4-star player at centre-back. I like David Alaba. And I think he's going to be pretty good for us. So we've won 5 out of 5 in the league. We've seen the transfers we've made. And also, let's have a look at the Champions League group we've been drawn. We've been drawn alongside Juventus, Leipzig, and Slovan Bratislava. So over the next 3 episodes, you'll get to see one game against each of those. Today, it's going to be Slovan Bratislava, followed by the game against Real Madrid and El Clasico this early in the season. So already we've had a lot of talk about transfers. You're going to get to see a game against Slovan Bratislava. In theory, our easiest game in the Champions League, so we should thrash them. And then we play against Real Madrid. What an episode for you to see today. You can already see Edward's a top scorer in the Champions League, as he was playing for Celtic in the group, in the qualifying stages, I should say. Sorry. He's already got 4 goals, so let's see if we can score some more today. But yeah, that's our Champions League group. We're 5 wins out of 5 in the league. Let's get into this. We play against Slovan Bratislava today, and let's show you the team for that one. And though we do have Real Madrid at the weekend in our first El Clasico, we are going to go with a fairly full-strength team in this game. We want to have a good start in the Champions League group stage, because Leipzig and Juve are tough teams to play against, so we need to make sure we get the 6 points against Slovan Bratislava. So the team is going to be like this. Neto in goal, Piqué and Alaba at centre-back, Roberto and Alba at full-backs. I don't know why it was so hard for me to say Alba there. Normally because I call him Jordi Alba, not just Alba. But Jordi Alba and Sergi Roberto at full-back. Busquets in the anchorman role with Locatelli and De Jong in front of him. Messi on the right, Griezmann on the left. And we're going to start with Ibrahimovic up front. You can see most of our goals coming from those 3 up there, Ibrahimovic, Griezmann and Messi. Let's see if they can get some today. Neto still in goal. It's another kind of 6 weeks until Ter Stegen is back from his injury. So let's keep up the good form, Neto. An average rating of 7 is not too bad so far. Let's hope he can do just as well today. So the game has kicked off, and hopefully we can get a good start to this one. Only 1 shot in the first 10 minutes, which is not ideal. They're playing a diamond, so hopefully we can get down the wide parts of the pitch. But 25 minutes gone and there's not a highlight yet. And we've reached half time, and there's not been a highlight in this first half. I was hoping there'd be lots and lots of goals in this one for us, but it would appear that's not been the case so far. We're going to change our mentality to an attacking one. Get us forward and go and get some goals. We've had 70% in the ball, but we're not doing anything with it. And here is the first highlight of the game, but it's going to go the way of Slovan Bratislava. No with the ball. He swings it into the box, and they nearly went ahead. Oh my goodness, the ball bounced about there, and I think it was Sonny who had the chance to tuck that there. Sunday, sorry. But he didn't, thankfully. Now we've got the ball. Jordi Alba and Busquets and De Jong. And back to Busquets and Locatelli, and we're just playing with the ball in the middle. Now we've found Alba on the left-hand side. Can I get the ball into the box? Jordi Alba into Ibrahimovic, and he tucks that away for his third goal of the season. Zlatan with a goal. 38 years old, but he can still do it. And that's a beautiful, beautiful finish for the big man there. Busquets threads it through to Alba, who's in acres of space, can take as long as he wants to swing this ball in. And he does. And it's in behind the two centre-backs. And Ibrahimovic just volleys that in from less than 6 yards out. And we are up 1-0. Let's see how Slovan Bratislava respond. I'm not sure how they will. They appear to have changed the formation. They've gone with some wide men now. Maybe playing a 4-2-3-1. The ball's played forward, but Alaba finds Locatelli with it. And now Sergio Roberto has it into De Jong in midfield. We should hopefully outnumber them in the middle of the park now. De Jong down the right-hand side. Can he swing it in? Yes, he can. Ibrahimovic, he gets his second of the day. Second in just 2 minutes. What a goal. Look, I'm jumping about there. Have you ever seen Ibrahimovic being that excited? I've not, but I know what. I'm glad he is that happy. De Jong with the ball driving down the right-hand side. Stops with it, swings it in. Ibrahimovic into the front post, just kicks that just in front of the goalkeeper there. And lovely volley. And he scored 2 goals in 2 minutes. And from being worried if we're gonna win this one, we have scored 2. And let's make some substitutions, seeing as we do have Real Madrid at the weekend. Not often you take off Lionel Messi, but we're going to do that. We'll bring Christian Pavon on. We'll also take off Griezmann and play Ansu Fati on the left-hand side. Take off De Jong and bring on Aaron Ramsey. We'll get to see him, and Busquets can come off as well. We'll push Roberto further forward, and we'll bring on Wegu on the right-hand side of the defence there. 15 minutes to go. Let's see if we can get another one maybe. We've brought on Pjanic for Locatelli, and Pjanic swings in this free kick. I was about to say corner. It wasn't a corner. Swung in the free kick, and it was headed over by Aaron Ramsey there. But time has ticked down. A fairly boring game, to be honest, one I thought would be exciting, but it wasn't. 2 goals for Ibrahimovic. 2 poachers finishes from him. And we scrape through that 2-0. We'll need to play a lot better when we play up against Real Madrid, I must say. Not hugely impressed with that, but we do go top of our group at the moment. Obviously, we're played slightly earlier in the day, so that's why the rest of them haven't done that. But we play against Real Madrid in just 3 days' time, and we'll see you for that one in what's going to be our toughest game so far. Right, here we are, ready for our first El Clasico. Real Madrid currently down in 11th position. They've only got 7 points from their 5 games. Not ideal for them. They have lost to Betis, and they've also lost to Atletico Pamplona. 2 teams we've played, and 2 teams we have beaten. I'm not saying that means we're going to beat Real, but you never know. And we're actually going to stick with the same team that kind of struggled against Slovan Bratislava. I know that seems like a strange one, but look at the average rating. Most of them are doing pretty well. So it's going to be PK and Alaba in centre defence just ahead of Neto. Sergio Roberto and Jordi Alba. I tell you, that is why I was struggling to say Alba, because we've now got Alaba and Alba right next to each other. That's hard for me, but Jordi Alba plays at left back, Alaba at centre back, PK centre back, and Sergio Roberto on the right hand side. Busquets with De Jong and Locatelli in front of him, Messi on the right, Griezmann left, Ibrahimovic up front after scoring 2 goals in the last one. Let's see if we can do the same today. And here is the Real Madrid side. Courtois in goal, and you're going to have Eder Militao, Varane, Sergio Ramos and Ferland Mendy at the back, Casemiro, Modric and Kroos in midfield, and Florian Thauvin, Eden Hazard and Hugo Duro up front. Marco Asensio, Gini Wijnaldum, who just went there as well, Isco. There's no Benzema, so that's a positive thing, I suppose. So here we go. The players step out there. Real Madrid in their white, as they famously are. and us in our red and blue stripes. Sergio Roberto took a little bit of a bruised knee, but no, he can keep playing. He's not coming off for a bruised knee. Throw in from the left, Jordi Alba into Griezmann, and Griezmann back to Alba now. And Alba toward Busquets, but it's intercepted, and now Real Madrid have the ball, and they've played it long to absolutely nobody. But Neto's got it now, finds David Alaba, who plays it long towards Ibrahimovic, and Ibrahimovic is not going to chase that down. Indeed, he did not. Varane with it now. Ibrahimovic is doing a lot more pressing than I thought he would at his age. He's actually 39. I said earlier he was 38, but he's 39. He set a new record in the Champions League for the oldest goal scorer. But Tovan down the right hand side. Great challenge from David Alaba. Militao with it now. Can he put it into the middle? Yes, he can, but it's cleared away, and it's Ferland Mendy on it now. He's going to have a tough day up against Messi. Just looking at the stats, 25 minutes gone, we've not had a shot yet. Not ideal. We've got a similar amount of possession, but Real Madrid have had all the shots. Not ideal. And again, we've reached half-time and we've not had a shot. That is not an impressive first half performance from us. I'm going to say I'm not happy. They appear motivated by that. Sergio Roberto struggling at right back. He might have to come off soon, but Alba throws it into Griezmann. We'll go down the left-hand side here. Alba, back to Alaba, into Busquets. And Busquets plays it to De Jong. And Roberto's on the right if he wants to use him. De Jong finds Roberto. He's in acres of space. Can he cross the ball in? Gets to the byline, in toward Ibrahimovic, is headed just over the bar. What an effort from him. And that could be one of Roberto's last efforts in this game, to be honest, because he's absolutely dead on his feet. We'll see what happens from this highlight. The ball thrown in. Modric with it now, into Casemiro. Back to Varane, and Ibrahimovic doesn't close that down. Instead, De Jong tries to. And it goes all the way back to the goalkeeper and Courtois, and back to Varane. Griezmann tries to close that down, but it's back to Militao. And over it goes Locatelli to close it down. Modric swings it in. Kroos with it on the edge of the box. Back to Casemiro. And Hazard. And Duro with it. And he hits it, and it's a good finish from Hugo Duro. His first goal of the season. I don't even know who this person is. I'll be honest. Let me know in the comments below if you do. He could have maybe headed that back from an offside position initially, but then they recycle it in midfield. I'm not quite sure what happened to Alaba there. He kind of slid in and then stood up and fell over, but it was a good finish from Duro in the end. And we're going to have to make some changes, but there is a highlight straight after the goal. Now, this normally means one way or the other, there's going to be another goal scored. Let's hope it's for us. We've had one shot in the game now. That was Ibrahimovic's header. Can we get a second? Locatelli finds Alba. Alba down the left-hand side. Back to Locatelli. Can he get this ball in the box toward Ibrahimovic? He can, but De Jong gets it and it's bounced off the defender and cleared away. And Alaba on it. Finds PK. Out to Alba on the left-hand side. He comes forward again. Can he get this ball in the box? This time again. Yes, he can. De Jong for the edge. It's over the bar. And there's now we're gone. And we are not in this game. We're going to have to make some changes. We'll take off Roberto definitely and bring on Wegu for him on the right-hand side because he's absolutely dead on his feet. And there's some poor performances all over the park, including Messi on a 6.3. But we can't really take him off. We'll take off Frankie de Jong. And we'll bring on Ramsey for him. And we'll take off Locatelli and bring on Pedri, as well as bringing on Odsonne-Edouard up front for Zlatan Ibrahimovic. 4 changes there. I'm also going to encourage the entire team. They've got some wee smiley faces now. Let's see if that helps, and we'll change to an attacking mentality as well. We need to go and get us a goal. And let's see what happens. 20 minutes to go. Real Madrid on the ball. Modric has got it. He swings it in. It's cleared away by Alaba. Edouard doesn't track that ball though, and let's see what happens now. Kroos on it, finds Hazard, and Casemiro through to Tovan. It's a great save from Neto. Somehow he got his fingertips to it. The stuff does say at the bottom, and indeed I agree. Somehow he got his fingertips to it. Kroos swings it in, and the ball is headed away, and it's back out to Toni Kroos. And Modric with it, and back to Casemiro, and they're going backwards, our Real Madrid here. Varane with it, back to Militao and Tovan, and it's through toward Duro. Can he get his second? No, he can't. Good save from Neto. And Real Madrid have been all over us so far. And it's going to continue that way, it looks like. Kroos swings the ball in. Varane heads it, and it's straight into the arms of Neto. And we recycle this ball. And we are not playing well at all. I'm going to demand more from the team. Messi is going to stay out there. They say that he's given everything he can, but he's going to give me some more. He's Messi. He's got to. But Real Madrid have got the ball, but we've won it back. Edouard with it through to Griezmann. Can he finish? Yes, he can. He tucks it in at the front post. And we've brought it back to 1-1 here with less than 10 minutes on the clock. Totally undeserved. But we'll take it anyway. Pedri lost it to Hazard, and Casemiro and Modric pass the ball about. Kroos just can't get on the end of the ball. Ramsey wins it. Edouard threads it through to Griezmann, who's in acres of space, and he tucks it in the bottom corner. And we've levelled proceedings somehow. And it's 1-1, but there's a highlight straight from the goal again. Hazard with it, finds Mendy on this left-hand side. Messi's not tracking him back. Mendy swings it and it's cleared away by Piqué. Mendy with the ball again, out to Kroos. Mendy swings it in and Casemiro heads it over the bar. I keep saying Kroos and Kroos. It's the same person. I'm not consistent with what I say, unfortunately. There are just a couple of minutes to go in this game. Are we going to hang on to a 1-1 draw, which is totally undeserved? And yes, it looks like we are. That was not a good performance from us, but somehow we've managed to get a draw in our first El Clasico here away at the Santiago Bernabeu. I tell you, Real Madrid played a lot better than us in the game. Maybe the average ratings there don't suggest that, but if you look at the stats on the left-hand side, they had more of the ball. They had over double our XG, 3 times the number of shots we had. We only had 2 shots on target in the whole game, one of them being the goal. They had 12 shots on target. Yeah, they had a dominant performance in that game, but somehow we've held on. We've managed to get ourselves a 1-1 draw. We told them in the team talk afterwards there, simply put, that was not good enough, yet somehow we've managed to hold on to a draw, and I agree, somehow we have. I'm not sure how, but somehow we have. Let's look at the fixtures for the next episode. We're not going to show you the Leipzig game at the moment. We'll show you the Leipzig game in the last one, and 2 episodes time you'll see Leipzig and Bilbao. But between now and then we'll play a few games. We'll come back for this game up against Juventus and the game up against Celta Vigo. That could be a nice game. Celta Vigo currently bottom of the league, so a game we should, hopefully, demolish them in, even if we struggle against Juventus. That's the aim anyway. So we'll be back for the next episode up against Juventus and Celta Vigo. If you have enjoyed this one, we won 2-0 against Slovan Bratislava and then scraped a draw against Real Madrid in El Clasico, then please do leave a like on this video. Subscribe if you haven't already for more of this one season challenge with Barcelona. And until the next one, where we play against Juventus and Celta Vigo, we'll see you then.